For assignment number 2, I will be portraying Anselm and his ontological argument, sending a letter proving the argument that God exists to an atheist, and the atheist will reply to Anselm, disproving his reasons for God's existence.
Dear John, I really urge you to consider the existence of God. I will prove that it is absurd not to believe that there is a creator and that he exists. I will write premises you already know, in which you should believe, John, or else you are absurd. The first premise: God is the greatest conceivable being, meaning he is the best thing to be thought of. Nothing greater, nothing better, only good, never ever bad. This being is all-knowing, all-powerful, and good-willing. Second premise you should know: a real God is better than a fake one. So, John, take those premises and suppose that God doesn't exist in reality, but only in the understanding. If God is the most conceivable being by understanding, why couldn't I just replace the most conceivable being with the imaginary one? Because you really cannot conceive a greater being than the most conceivable being. God exists. I enjoy our friendship and mean no harm when I say absurd. I only mean well with care. Be well. Saint Anselm of Canterbury.
Dear friend Anselm, I know you mean well to convince me of my absurdity of not believing God's existence. But I see flaws in your premises, in your ultimate conclusion that God exists. To start, you assume that God is the most conceivable being. Did you mean that these could be other gods, meaning a polytheism view? If other gods exist, then doesn't that mean there can be many greatest conceivable beings? Again, you assume the comparison of imaginary and real cannot work with beings we can't see. It cannot work. If you're referring to how, through faith, we can know God exists because of the real sovereign acts he does, then that would make sense. And your argument does not convince me how I am absurd, because it has false premises that your most conceivable being simply does not exist. I'd imagine Canterbury is most beautiful this time of year. Let's keep in touch. John Z.